if your heart is broken before God, you can have a reason to cry. The Bible is telling us, and the righteous cried unto the Lord, and the Lord. So when you cry to God, he can hear you. And if he won't hear your prayer, he will hear your cry. Sometimes God requires a broken heart in order for him to minister to you. Have you ever cried and you are not crying because you are beaten? You are crying because of the unconditional love of God, which he has shown towards you. Do you have people here who can cry? When people are asking you, why are you crying? You tell them, no, because the love of Christ in me been too much. You have a testimony and you are baptized, but your spirit is not crushed. We have those people in church, we call them like hardcore. They are hardcore before God. They can't cry for God. Praise the name of the living God. Let me tell you, sometimes even this praise and worship, they should be worshiping until they cry. If they have never cried because of worshiping, you have not yet worshipped. Some of you are too shallow spiritually that you can't be able to go before God and show him that you are nothing so that he can make you something. You can go in the presence of God and yet you are behaving like a spirit-filled Christian. But when I look at you, you are still physical. We are brought here so that we can be able to sharpen our spiritual side. Some of us, we cry because we have known where God has brought us from. Some of us, we cry when we remember our fellowship with God. Some of us, we cry when we remember that God has taken us out of a pit of darkness. We don't cry because we want to cry. We cry because God has been so good to us. When the righteous cried unto God, he answered them the Bible is not talking about when they prayed. You can pray, but your spirit is not crushed. What God needs is not you. He wants the seed in you. Sometimes the Bible is talking about crying. When the righteous cry and God hears, the Bible is not talking when you fast. Sometimes you people, you need to lay down and cry to God, because God is not interested with whatever you are showing him. He is interested with your heart and the heart which is crushed. Can we read together Psalms 34:17? Let us, everybody, read. The righteous cried, and the Lord hears them. So this is the time to cry. And when people ask you why you are crying, you tell them you are crying so that God can hear you. The voices which you pray with is not heard. When a child wants an attention of a parent, what he does, he will cry. After crying, the parent will come and tell the child, what are you after? What do you want? If you need something from me as a spiritual father, you know sometimes you don't have to show me. The way you are crushed, I can look at you and say, this man needs my support, because his spirit is already crushed. Be a child in the face of God. Be a child in the face of God. Be a child in the face of God. If he never had you the time you fasted, cry. Do you know this maize, it can't grow? There is an inner thing which comes out, a white one, a very small one. That's the seed. What grows from the soil is not this maize. And when the seed begins to grow, that's the time farmers see. I sow just one seed, but I have harvested pretty. Can I tell you something? God is interested with his seed. Are you the seed of God? Are you the seed of God? The seed of God, God, he will never let his seed die. Kama wewe ni wa Mungu kabisa, Mungu hatakubali uishie jangwani. Atatafuta jambo moja ambaye atafanya ukue, uonekane. After you have cried unto God, he will deliver you out of those He's not talking about some. He's not talking about some. He's not talking about others. He's not talking about some problems. He's saying he will deliver you from all troubles. Why God has spared you, it's because you are his seed and he can't allow your enemies to put their hand on you. You are not strong because you went in a certain secondary school. You are not strong because you are educated. You are not strong because you have a diploma. You are not strong because you are prayerful. You are strong because of crying unto God with a crushed heart. Are you getting me? Let your heart be crushed. Be heartbroken before the eyes of God so that God can see a place to live in. You can't be able to accommodate God not until your spirit is crushed. I want us to go back in those days where you could stand, Akaba Shada. You feel the power of Ano Shikaba. You feel the power of God moving you. You sing until you are wet. Everywhere you are wet. When people are asking you, why you washed, you tell them, no. I'm doing this only for the glory of God. There are some songs, even you particularly, you can put even in your house. You feel, I'm spirit uplifted. If you don't have anyone who is inspiring you, you are in trouble. Because you don't have someone who can boost your spirit. God is close to heart. Ask your neighbor, are you heartbroken? Do you know when you are heartbroken, you are crushed until the best you comes out? God is closer to heartbroken. Today I want people to be spirit filled.